All right, guys. 2025 Dokkan is officially upon us. We're a week in, and things like anniversaries getting really, really close. I'm here with TheMaskedNingen, and we're actually going to be talking about our predictions for the Dokkan Festival releases during the year, along with maybe an easy A here or there, right? Hi, Ningen. How you doing?
Yo, how's it going, everyone? Happy to be here. Yeah, excited to talk about a potential full year of Dokkan. We've already talked a little bit before we started recording. I think we both went into it with very different game plans on how to pick all the different stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we've both picked, discussing, seeing how many of especially character wise, how many of the same picks we have, even if they're in different places. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
It will be interesting, and essentially to confirm with y'all, this is going to be the first part, and how we're going to do this is we're going to go through the first 6 months, and we'll be bouncing back and forth. Like, I'll bring up my anniversary picks, Ningan will bring up his, and then, later on same day, back and forth, right? And in the second half, we'll be going over, things that happened in the second part of the year, like worldwide, right? So um let me know what you guys would like to see the most from the year. At least if you had to pick one Dokkan Fest that was guaranteed to come, I'll be interested to hear from you guys. Now with me, I did plan things out around this template that was made by Misaka, that essentially, because I think they usually plan these celebrations per the EZAs that are available, which makes a lot of sense to me. So I think that's kind of what I started to alleviate towards. And then throughout the year, I'm building up different teams and setups that I think could really explode and be really fun. So that's kind of my idea. And Ningen, you did have a different idea of how you're personally handling that, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think yours is. I think that's a great idea. That's probably a smart way to do it, and probably the way that Dokkan should do it. But I just decided to pick a bunch of character releases that I thought would be really cool, and
No, that's
for
fine too, man.
most of them, I think there are at least some easy A's and themes and stuff that could be picked. But yeah, some of them definitely will be a bit more random, I think. But
No, dude, we're gonna see Ningen pick 5 Bardogs in the year. No, but
no, there's spoiler alert. There's only one. Don't
there's
worry.
only one. Okay, well, I wonder where. Okay, but no, we'll hop into things. I'm gonna start off with my anniversary predictions here, and I think with anniversary, I kind of went with just some of the more obvious choices. I went all out, chat. I do not care. So starting with anniversary, Super Vegeta as one of the part 1 characters, and then paired with Super Gogeta right here. I had the wrong Gogeta up. Super Gogeta, a standalone cards. I think that these two characters are long overdue for brand new named cards, just like a standalone. This last Super Vegito came out all the way in 2017. It's just so long ago. The last Super Gogeta was even like before then. I believe this he's 2016, right? No, he is also 2017. Yeah, dude, that's a crazy year. This guy as a 120% leader, and then like what, 4 or 5 months later, we get not carnival, stupid, a category leader Super Vegito. Like that was crazy. We went Toshi, dude, crazy. Anyways, I think that it's about time, right? We've had these transforming cards for them where they fuse, but I'm starting to get tired of some of these like transformation characters with the condition, because as time goes on, they just make them more convoluted. So I just want straight up these two for part 1. And yeah, I mean, in terms of easy A's during the first part, I think, grab Janemba and Pycon right there. These two are just sitting there waiting for easy A's. I think that just makes a lot of sense to me. Maybe we can get the super easy A for STR Gogeta or Inch Janemba. That could also work, right, as year 1 characters.
Yep.
Now, I guess for part 2 here, again, we'll just cover the entire anniversary, and then I'll hand it off to Ningen. I have Vegeta Blue and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta standalone. Again, I think that for year 10, they're not gonna hold back. I really do think that we'll see fusions. And another thing is, at least we saw recently that kind of like fuels this idea more. But I think it's more likely we might see a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and like a Vegeta Blue potentially, just because the Baton battle that drops during Anniversary Countdown on the 23rd, it is Future Saga and GT. I don't think that necessarily means anything, but it could be something. And Matsu did say, hey, in terms of animations, we'll make Dokkan originals for these future characters, such as characters for Beast Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And he said that during I think it was the 8th anniversary.
Okay.
So that was a long time ago, but I mean, pointing out Beast Gohan, he came out last year and he brought up specifically Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So
I don't even remember that.
yeah, he did say that specifically. That's kind of my idea there. And then maybe for part 2, we'll see this into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta EZA. I think we could see the year 2 characters also get a Super EZA. That'd be really fun. And then just ending things off with the 7th anniversary characters to EZA's ball. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta would link really well with this character. Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 would link really well with this character, right? And then we still have the fusions from part 1 that'll kind of work together nicely. If they wanted to go really crazy, they could also Super EZA the year 3 characters. But I just don't know if they would do all 3 years in one celebration. I mean, it's not Annie. So, like, what if there's, like, an EX part? I mean, because, remember, during year 7, we had the year 3 characters and the year 4 characters, EZA. Which was insane, like, a week apart. It was really crazy, but, I spoiled ahead, whatever.
Yeah.
I could just cut that off in the video. Anyways, Ningen, what are your thoughts, and what do you think will be?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think with this, when it comes to the Super EZA stuff as well, I think it's obviously we haven't seen anyone past the 70% leads get one yet, so I'm not sure. Like, I could definitely see the Super EZAs for Gogeta and Janemba, the year 1s. I'm not sure about year 2. I mean, I guess the anniversary is the perfect time if they're going to do the first EZA for one of the 120 leads. Then anniversary is a good time to do it, but it does make you wonder because they've been releasing EZAs and stuff now more so around the themes of the celebrations and not based on like time of release. But obviously if we start getting super EZAs for 120 leads and we've got so many other characters that also need them, I could definitely see Gogeta and Janemba. I mean, the thing is, like, it's kind of funny, I didn't know what to expect with your one, but I can potentially just jump in. We can keep discussing the whole thing, but if I jump into my one, I've got the stuff on the screen here. I literally have picked the exact same thing as you.
No way.
The thing is, I made a video about it the other day, right? Because there was that tweet going around that was the like, how would you feel if this was the anniversary and it was these 4 characters? And I made a video talking about it, and it's like everything you said, right, is all of these characters need new standalone cards. Like, fusions are the big hype, like, money makers that they drop. And the other thing is as well, when it came to like planning out what to do for the year, because the anniversary is so close, it's one of those ones that, like, I just kind of ticked this one off the list like straight away. It was like, yeah, they're just going to go crazy with the fusions. So Super Vegito, Super Gogeta part 1, and then Vegito Blue and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in part 2. All the same things you mentioned, right? Like the Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta EZA, Janemba and Gogeta Super EZA. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Fusions ties in quite nicely with like all these characters being on different sagas and different categories. There's a lot of character EZAs that they can kind of fit in that will fit on the character's leader skills, even if they're not from the exact same saga and stuff. So I feel like for 10th anniversary, going all out with like the standalone fusions is probably one of the like hypest choices. And like you said, transformation units can be cool. Like, it's cool to have the animations and stuff, but we don't want to keep ending up with units like the AGL Blue Boys, right? We want to just have these guys out and use them and see their animations and all that kind of stuff, right? So I think standalone fusions, I'm all on board the fusion train for year 10.
Luckily, like they kind of they've probably seen the backlash with Blue Boys, so I hope not we'll not see another character like that for a major celebration with the strict transformation edition. But yeah, I mean that's actually surprising. There's other options you could do for anniversary, like Namek or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or something, which are characters that could very easily also fit throughout other parts of the year too. But I just wanted to bring that up because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to see like Super Saiyan Goku from Namek or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, because it might be a Kamehameha theme. It seems like we'll see, right? But I mean, all these characters could also just fit Kamehameha too. So that's why I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't really change it personally in mine. I was like, yeah, it should be fine. But yeah, I think obviously the quad fusions would be probably the most successful anniversary in terms of monetary value that they would earn, and they could just all tie in really together. So it could be a really fun team. But we'll again see what happens there. From that here, of course, anniversary would end, and we would actually go into the March Dokkan Festival. So this is where it's like more variable. In this spot for me, they usually pick characters that aren't as exciting. So what I actually went for is Tapion, right? I think Tapion as a Dokkan Fest character could work in terms of like, March, in this March time spot, right? I mean, in this spot, I mean, we've had like First Form Frieza, Super 17, right? And it's like, they aren't necessarily unexciting, especially I think I really like Frieza personally, just as a character. But I think Tapion would be a nice fit here. Then, of course, I think it'd be pretty obvious, EZA this Tapion and Minosha card. This card could be really good with an EZA, and I think providing them like a Tapion slot 1 character for them to work really nicely could be nice. I mean, Tapion is on like movie bosses, movie heroes right here. That could be really cool. Maybe we can get like a Resurrected Warriors leader or something like that. We'll see for what they could do with it, like a Tapion, but I think that would be a very interesting choice. And I mean, what if they I doubt that they would like super easy this guy, but like that, like imagine they're like, yeah, first banner unit super easy that we decided, yeah, we're gonna do them now. It's this Rurouni Tapion. He does have a Dokkan event, which could be updated maybe for this. Well, actually, I think that's just a Rurouni Dokkan event, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Not sure.
I'm pretty sure, but yeah, no, I think Tapion would be a good choice here.
Yeah, I think that's a very good choice, because I picked the same thing.
Are you serious?
Nope. Well, I mean, to be fair, so obviously we hadn't fully planned out exactly the format. So I had listed all my celebrations, and then I listed like the filler Dokkan Fests like as a separate section. So I hadn't 100% decided who was going to release where. So it's not like I had specifically picked also Tapion for the March Dokkan Fest, but Tapion is one of the characters that I picked for one of my filler Dokkan Fests.
Oh, I see. I plan it out like anniversary, March, Saiyan days, this is that, right?
Yeah, because I mean the thing is, like you said, because you planned yours around the EZAs, which makes a lot of sense. Whereas obviously because I just picked characters that I thought would be cool, I kind of just thought they could release in any slot. But kind of like you were saying, it does make a lot of sense with like them dropping a character after the anniversary that's not necessarily the most crazy in terms of like peak hype, although I think Tapion would still be very cool. The only difference though is I picked, like, the image that I've got up is the AGL Tapion and Hirudegarn, because I was thinking of like a new version of that where he has like maybe a standby or an active skill or something that involves Hirudegarn. So obviously by having the Tapion Hirudegarn combo gives him like the movie boss. I know he's not exactly built for that team, but it gives him the movie bosses category. I think, is normal Tapion on demonic power, or is it just the Hirudegarn one?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Because normal Tapion is not on demonic power. I actually didn't even think about this guy being on demonic power and uncontrollable power. He's on a lot of these. Maybe that is the play. Because I wasn't thinking of like a new Hirudegarn Tapion. I was just thinking of a Tapion.
Yeah. Because yeah, I thought that would be kind of cool. Because maybe make it into like an active skill, so it's like almost like Janemba's rage mode, where it's like you just use it, and it's well, I mean, it could still be the same as a
I mean, it
giant
could be
form,
like
multiple
Orange
turns.
Piccolo.
Yeah, like Orange Piccolo, exactly. Because then Tapion could become, Orange Piccolo 2.0, where you're just running him on all these teams, using his giant ability to nerf, like, remove the boss's super attack and stuff like that. And then obviously, as you said, like, the Easy A that would go with his celebration clearly would be Tapion and Minosha. They could also throw in, like, the Awakening and potential straight away Easy A for that physical free-to-play Tapion from the story event as well. But yeah, he makes like a nice little filler at Dokkan Fest because he's got that like LR EZA to go with him, the free to play unit, and then yeah, a new Hirudegarn Tapion I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I never even really thought of it like that, like a Tapion with Hirudegarn again. But yeah, no, actually, that's a better idea, honestly. Yeah, W idea. So I guess I would personally change it to that. Tapion with Hirudegarn as like an active skill would be sick, man, and you'd be on all those good categories. That even fits better with like buffing other teams. But all right, I think from here we hop right into the Saiyan Day Dokkan Fest, right? Again, March. Usually Dokkan Fest, a lot of people skip the beginning of March Dokkan Fest, but then as we head into Saiyan Day, I'm thinking we actually talked about this on the podcast, so there's another character we both picked for the same time spot, which is absolutely crazy.
Although the fact that I didn't realize because I should have mentioned a different one than Tapion, but yeah, the fact that we're gonna go 3 for 3 at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mini Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. I mean, the episode's been out for a while, so I'm just showing his face. I think this is gonna be pretty clearly Saiyan Day, honestly. I think it just everything lines up for this guy to be Saiyan Day. We have the Super Easy A Super Saiyan 3 S tier Vegeta, which is not on here, but Super Easy A for the S tier Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. And then I'm thinking they get to snag this guy in Majin Vegeta and then Easy A him. That would be a banger.
Yeah, exactly, because he's like an older Saiyan Day character, so he fits. Obviously, the one was it Broly was the one before him, and Broly's got his Easy A now, so yeah, he's next in line for like the Saiyan Day characters to get an Easy A. So yeah, I definitely think Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta is a good choice. He's a recent character that's been shown in the series. I think they're going to have some more Daima stuff later on, which obviously we'll talk about as we get to the later picks and stuff. So he feels like one of those good picks for like a standalone Saiyan Day character. Also, I was thinking, I know we haven't talked about, like, we're not going into huge detail about things like kit and stuff like that, but he strikes me as one of those characters where he would be a really good pick for having that leader skill format that like Roshi and Glorio have, because Super Saiyan 3 is such a like sparse category now, so it's like making it one of his 170 leads feels kind of like a waste, whereas if they just gave him like 200% to Super Saiyan 3 and then gave him like his 170 leads, especially if one of them was like Power Beyond Super Saiyan or something, then obviously he could end up having a really good team. You can run the few Super Saiyan 3, because there's still like a few that are good at the moment, but I mean, I feel like focusing them around the Super Saiyan 3 team kind of feels like a bit of a waste, but I think that'd be a good opportunity.
It's not the worst idea, because like Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku that transforms, in Super Saiyan 2 Goku that transforms, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, like there's some options there. So like it could work out. But yeah, no, I think, this guy is on a couple of pretty decent categories. Just like we can guess from there. Obviously, it's a Saiyan. So I think maybe he could even just be a new Pure Saiyans leader. Honestly, would also work, because the last one we got was Physical Turles. So it's been quite some time. I think we're due time for a new Pure Saiyans leader. And I think this guy could work out. In Broly? Which one? The
worldwide one. I always forget his leader skill because I don't have him.
No,
is it one of his 30%?
If it's one of his 30%, I don't know for sure, but I think just like a 170% for Pure Saiyans, we could definitely use that.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I get confused. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was one of his 170s or not. Because if not, then we haven't had standalone Pure Saiyan one for a while.
Yeah, I've been checking that. We need a new Pure Saiyans leader. I think that'd be really cool. Um, it's a pretty clear guess. I think a lot of people would guess that, for the Saiyan Day Dokkan Festival. So I think that's overall fair. So from here, again, as the Saiyan Day Dokkan Fest would kind of wind up, we actually go into April, and April is usually one of the more dry points of the year, right? I guess it's like, because it's funny because for Ningen Global, you guys usually would sometimes get the New Year's Dokkan Fest here, but now it's going to be the April Dokkan Fest, which is usually just again, filler Dokkan Fest as we'd call them. I'm guessing Krillin for this pick, right? I think Krillin is a character that, while he has a lot of cards here, definitely deserves to get his own Dokkan Festival. No, I didn't really think of a specific Krillin in mind. It could be Saiyan Saga. It could be something else, right? That's not really something I'm adamant, like, oh, it has to be this specific Krillin. It could maybe even be like Namek Saga Krillin, where there's an active skill where Dende heals him, or he has like a revive skill where like Dende heals him. Could be interesting, right? If they get him on Kamehameha, he could help out the physical Goten and Trunks EZA with their unit super attack, right? That could be interesting. Maybe EZA this guy, but I'm actually thinking of Ajo could Gohan, because something people don't really think about with this guy is that he does have a unit super attack with Krillin or Piccolo. So I'm thinking like a Dokkan Festival Krillin for April, and then EZA for the Ajo Kid Gohan. Maybe Krillin could be an Earthbred Fighters category leader, right? I think that could be interesting, because we also could use a new Earthbred Fighters category leader. I mean, I'm just taking a look here at the screen. The last one was 23rd World Tournament Goku. Getting like an Earthling to lead this, I think would be cool. Maybe Krillin could provide some support. I think there's a lot of options for this guy. Broshi could fit on his team and support him, I guess, right? So that could be interesting too. But yeah, I think this kid Gohan, like EZing at this time and being a support, he's another character that's like one of the oldest characters waiting on their EZA. Because at this point, it'd be Pikkon, Janemba, and Gogeta would have EZA'd, and so would Tapion. So this guy would be like, what, the, like, in my idea, the 5th oldest character without an EZA as a Dokkan Fest. So just getting him out of the way would make a lot of sense to me. And yeah, so I think I'll keep the part 2 LR separate, because that doesn't have to necessarily relate to part 1. So what would you think about the April Dokkan Fest? Essentially the April Fool's Dokkan Fest is what it's called sometimes, because like Raditz came out that time,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, so I think Krillin is a good pick. It's one of those things when people talk about characters that like quote unquote deserve a Dokkan Fest. Like, it's kind of crazy that we haven't had a Krillin one yet. I think he does fit the list of characters that would be suitable for what we call like a filler Dokkan Fest, right? He's not like the biggest, hypest character release, but he's a solid pick for a Dokkan Fest. I like what you're putting out there with the maybe Earthbred Fighters, having that Gohan EZA. I guess you could, like you said, it doesn't really matter which version he is, but if he's like the Namek Krillin, as I feel like that is a category that does still need a lot of help. So that could be quite useful, because it doesn't have to have Namek Saga as part of his lead to be the Namek Krillin. So I think if he was part of that category, that could be quite helpful. Just don't make him like restricted to that category, or like only supporting that category or something, and then it
he
just
only
means
revives
he
if there's a Namek,
yeah, because then it means he could be useful on a bunch of other teams while also helping the Namek Saga teams. I think that would be pretty good. So yeah, Krillin is definitely a good pick. I didn't pick a Krillin, so I've picked one of my filler Dokkan Fests to go in here. Again, with it being sort of like the quieter time, I didn't even really think about the fact that it's considered the April Fool's one, so maybe this could be the turnaround and we get one that's not considered a joke. But I thought it would be finally time for us to get a new Super Kaioken Goku. So the got the physical Super Kaioken Goku and that Pikkon that could get their EZA. I think he's a good pick for a random filler one, because obviously he is from filler from the anime. We've only got one version of him in the game. And not only are those units like super old, awaiting easy A's, but it's just like a cool combo for the form. Like I like the visual of like the Super Saiyan with the Kaioken. He's an Angel Goku, so like he's on a bunch of different categories. I know the easy A thing is weird because the versions of the Goku and Pikkon are different on like both versions, so they'd have to line those up with their easy A. But yeah, he's on some decent categories. He's got really good links. Like he was always, when he first came out, one of those units that linked super well with a bunch of the other characters because he has like all of the key links that different Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans have. So he could fit nicely on a bunch of those teams. And yeah, he's got those other World Warrior characters there to easy A. Any other World Warrior characters as well. I know he doesn't really fit with this guy, but I know like the Angel Freezer is one of the oldest characters as well now that's needing an easy A, but I don't know if he would be more relevant to fit in with a Universe Survival Saga character or anything, but yeah, I think getting a Super Kaioken Goku would be very cool as a filler Dokkan Fest. I don't think he's a pick that would be like a big celebration or anything, so yeah, I think he would be cool for a filler Dokkan Fest.
I mean, yeah, no, I think that's fair, right? I mean, during April, we had Blue Kaioken Goku before. So, a lot of times, it's called the April Fool Dokkan Fest, at least I call it sometimes, just because a lot of the characters that drop in that time slot, kind of, at least for me, have had underwhelming hits, like Tech Hit, Blue Kaioken Goku, Raditz, AGL Kale, right? That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be bad, of course. It's just like they drop on April Fool's Day. So it almost feels like with Raditz, they like intentionally were just like, how bad can we make a character? There's no way. But I think Super Kaioken Goku makes a lot of sense. He has a lot of those really good key links, like you said, and Angel Frieza, like an Otherworld Warrior kind of celebration, could be interesting, right? Maybe even like just make that team really buffed. Tech Gogeta would fit there. I mean, if Anniversary, like you said, a Super Gogeta, he would also fit on like a team like that. So I think you could like potentially even make it like decent. I guess Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku would fit there, but he wouldn't really get his Buu Saga passive. So I mean, yeah, it could be interesting. It could be interesting for sure. I think good pick though, because that is a character that would deserve a Dokkan Fest. I feel good animations, because like those episodes look pretty decent, so I think we could definitely see something like that happen, especially since those characters are some of the oldest though easiest to the Pikkon and the other Super Kaioken. So now there's always a yellow coin alarm that happens during April, and mine coincidentally does somewhat line up still with the part 1 celebration, but it could be a completely different character. I went with Garlic Jr. Which, you know, you may be thinking, why didn't you pair the Kid Gohan with Garlic Jr.? And that's because I'm actually pairing Garlic Jr. with the EZA for this Int Goku and Piccolo right here. That are just right there released with the Gohan. I think, you know, releasing Gohan with the Krillin and then the Goku Piccolo with the Garlic Jr. would make sense. And it's like they're in the same month, could be like a part 1, part 2 kind of thing going on there. Again, Goku and Piccolo are also one of the oldest characters without an EZA, and I just think that, like, in terms of how Dokkan would work with these things, I think they kind of like to line things up like in that specific potential way. Now, April usually doesn't end up getting 2 EZAs during the month, so this is where it's kind of like maybe not, but I decided to do it this time just because it is a concept at the end of the day. So that's what I would put for the part 2 LR spot. Again, I think Garlic Jr., if we take a look at his teams, right, I don't, like, he's on Demonic Power, so that could really help out, like, you know, he could fit on a Glorious team. I think Demonic Power is going to get pretty majorly buffed throughout the year, so.
Yeah, and also, it's kind of funny, because it's like, Garlic Jr. is definitely a character that deserves to get a proper, like, new unit. It's funny because it's like it kind of fits the theme as well with that April Dokkan Fest of like the part 2 LR not being related to the part 1 unit, which I know people complain about a lot. Getting a Dokkan Fest Krillin and then part 2 LR Garlic Jr. would be kind of funny.
I was thinking of making Garlic Jr. the April Fool's Dokkan Fest. I just feel like I would rather Krillin get the Dokkan Fest if I had to choose between those two when I was setting things up, because that's kind of my
Yeah,
thought
that's fair.
process. I guess like a yellow corn LR Krillin would be fine though as well. I just would like him to get it. You could switch them around. Honestly, it's not like the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, when it comes to, I had only made my list for like the Dokkan Fest releases, so I'm not sure for the part 2 LR for this guy.
Just
Considering
make one up right now,
what we
buddy.
just said, the fact that it's often unrelated.
Yeah.
Because the
I
problem
mean,
is with this guy, he doesn't really have a lot of, unless it's like a Pycon, but obviously Pycon suffers from the same issue as like Piccolo used to before Super, and like Beerus before his pajamas. But the fact that like every Pycon just is, there's only one version of him, right? So obviously the other one would easy A with him. Potentially the AGL one would have easy A during the anniversary or something with Janemba. So like we're going to end up with like multiple meta relevant Pycons, but they don't link together. It's kind of annoying.
I mean, like, it could be a thing where maybe even PyCon is a Dokkan Fest, and then the EZA or the LR Super Kalkin Goku, if you want to go that route, could be interesting. Maybe it could even be an LR Golden Frieza as an Otherworld Warriors character, right? Like the Angel Golden Frieza could be like a part 2 LR for that. And then that's how you could tie in like the Angel Frieza EZA.
Yeah, true. Just
If
have
they're
like
gonna,
standalone Angel Golden Frieza and then Easy A the physical Angel Frieza. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean that'd be kind of cool.
I'm looking at this category and it's like, if they were gonna do like Otherworld Warriors like kind of based category, like Angel Golden Frieza sticks out to me as a character that needs a new character. Like they wouldn't do like LR Grandpa Gohan like outside of World Tournament, right? It's funny because we did just get one, but like in World Tournament, and I don't think they would drop a Gogeta here. So I mean, yeah, I think that works either way, right? For sure, but. After this, we actually move into Golden Week. So, Golden Week is the Dual Dokkan Festival celebration. And this one, I'm kind of like, I don't have a necessarily like concrete pick for this one, actually, which is really funny. I'm thinking it's going to be related to Daima, and it'll just be like a Daima Dual Dokkan Festival. If I had to guess, again, the fusion little bugs going on here makes me think that like we're gonna see like a fusion in Daima. So it could be like the Daima fusion, and then like Goma easy like a Goma final form Goma, and then he's like with the third like kind of like Demon King eye thing that he's talking about, like the amulet that one of the characters have. I forgot his name. My bad. It's a new character. And then he like gets mega powered up and buff like Garlic Jr. Like, what if this guy like Garlic Jr. where he just like gets huge and buff? He's like, ugh, right?
Yeah,
That could be funny.
I was gonna say I could see him having a similar form to like it'd be like so because we're obviously in the demon realm. I could see him like his final form being something like the heroes like Mechikabra or Demigra, like that crazy like sort of demon king form kind of thing.
That could be interesting. In terms of EZAs, I didn't really have anything concrete here because there's not really like EZAs that like fit this celebration in my mind. I mean, unless they like, cause all the Majin Buu Saga EZAs are pretty much all taken up. Like the only thing I can think of is they're like, yeah, Golden Week, so we're gonna EZA these two guys. Personally, I do have these guys planned for a later celebration. So that like I don't really know. I really don't know what they're gonna do for EZAs for a celebration like this. Is the only thing that's kind of like keeping me stuck. I mean, unless they hold this guy off and they're like, yeah, Daima Fusion, we're releasing this guy as another fusion there. Who knows? Who knows what they might do, what they might decide to do. Like, it could even be literally just characters that fit the category and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna throw them on there. But yeah, and then for part 2 LR, again, usually this is related. So I actually do have just all three of the Tamagamis together. I think could be a really interesting card. I would love for them to get separate cards eventually, but I think as an LR, like all three of them together could be fun, right? There could be really interesting kind of team up animations, like Dokkan original team up animations with them. We'll see. what happens, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think New Year Golden Week will be Daima, and then the New Year's characters return on there, the Daima Goku and the Glorio. So it all blends well for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think because I think we did talk about it on the podcast, so we're on the same kind of wavelength. Because yeah, I did the same thing. I picked Daima for Golden Week, and I literally just put Final Battle of Daima as the
I mean, yeah.
pick. So yeah, exactly. Whether it's going to be a fusion or it's going to be Super Saiyan 3 Goku or whatever it's going to be, versus potentially Final Form Goma or whatever that ends up being. Because like you said, the New Year's characters should come back for that banner. So I mean, it doesn't obviously have to be Daima themed for them to come back, but it's quite fitting if that were the case. But I think it's one of the things we mentioned on the podcast as well, that I think Daima, with the number of episodes that we know that it's going to have, or supposed to have, it should end around that time. And obviously, it's always the best and always the most hype when they do stuff like that, when they really capitalize on bringing those things out like quickly after they happen in like the whatever anime version of Dragon Ball is ongoing at the time, right? Like UI Goku dropping the day after the episode in Japan and stuff like that. So if Daima is going to end basically around the time Golden Week happens, then yeah, having the final battle for Golden Week is definitely a smart choice.
Makes sense to me. I mean, Diamond
and then-
characters usually have a quick turnaround from what we've been seeing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then yeah, like I said, I didn't really think too much about Part 2 LRs, but I actually really like that pick, the Tamagami trio. So I'd definitely be
It
on
could
board
be
for that.
LR, Majin Ku, and Majin Do. And then
That is
Majin
true, yeah,
Power
because
Buff,
that's the other thing. We don't
demonic
know what's going to end up
power.
happening. Yeah, because we don't know what's going to end up happening with them either. So who knows? Maybe some weird fusion of them is the final boss, and that'll be the Dual Dokkan Fest. But yeah, who knows?
That'd be interesting.
But yeah.
I didn't really consider that, but yeah, no, I think that'd be cool, right? I think we could definitely see whatever is coming for Daima. I mean, there's other options for Golden Week, but I think we both agree that Daima really does fit that theme. After this, it is just just a normal May Dokkan Fest here, and I actually went ahead to pick specifically second form Frieza, which is really like it's out there random. I did do second form Frieza that actually would transform into a third form Frieza. I think that second form Frieza to me is like a sleeper Dokkan Fest pick, just because like his impact when he transforms, it's just so menacing. Like watching that growing up, it just Frieza is like, he transforms into second form. He's like, I have a power level of over 1 million, dude. And then he just like toys and coys with him. He is so menacing when he goes second form. He just becomes large. It's just like destroying whole islands at that point, just like with the flick of his hand. It's just so cool to me. And I think, during this year, at least personally, I think we will see a lot of different representation for Frieza characters, and like even like this Wicked Bloodline. So this is kind of setting up for that. Now in terms of the EZA, I just brought out Angel Frieza in this spot. Like we talked about Angel Frieza already, for like your kind of idea for like maybe like Otherworld Warriors ish. Like Angel Frieza would fit this. He's not like Big Bad Boss's thirst for conquest, but he's still Frieza character that has some of these Wicked Bloodline links that could work out. I don't really see him like kind of being like Tournament of Power themed, because I mean, if you look at EZAs, it's pretty much these two characters, and then like Tournament of Power is probably still like ways away from getting another celebration, in my opinion, anyways. So I think this guy would drop during like a Frieza based celebration. Makes a lot of sense to me in terms of this. So that's kind of my pick for the end of May Dokkan Festival. Character that would drop basically, I think it's pretty much around May 30th, right? We're at the end of Golden Week.
Okay. So yeah, I've pulled up another one of my filler Dokkan Fest choices, because like I say, I hadn't really picked specific places for them, but so the image that I've got pulled up is just for a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but obviously with this being our speculation and just I guess it's not so much speculation of like this is what I think it will be. Like a lot of them I just picked ones that like I want to see that I think would be cool. So whilst I do think it's unlikely, so you know, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta could just be the backup pick, but I actually really like the idea. Someone from my community mentioned it ages ago, so shout out to Prof. The idea of a Dokkan original, and it's actually a full power Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So it's essentially the full power Super Saiyan 4 ritual, but for Vegeta instead of Goku. So it's a Dokkan original, full power Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Give him like a Dokkan original animations and stuff. Now, obviously, when it comes to a filler Dokkan Fest, that's why. So I say it's. I know it's kind of less likely to get a completely random like what if character. They've done it for LRs and stuff before, but I mean, you know, we're talking about a game where even though they haven't done it for years, we got like crossover characters like Super Saiyan 3 Broly and stuff as Dokkan Fests. So I don't think it's completely outside the realms of possibility. I don't think it's like super likely, but obviously, if you think that they wouldn't ever do something like that for a filler Dokkan Fest, then, like I say, we could, as a backup, just have the normal Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But yeah, he hasn't had a standalone card for, I think it's since the 4th anniversary, right? Because he's been on other cards, but yeah, we haven't had a new card for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And that's the thing, is as someone who is a fan of Super Saiyan 4, like outside of Heroes, we don't really have many options for new Super Saiyan 4 characters. And even though he is outdated now, like that Tanabata Super Saiyan 4 Goku came out, you know, not that long ago. And so we've had a Super Saiyan 4 Goku recently. If we're getting a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for anniversary, I thought having a new Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta somewhere in the mix for the year would be a good pick.
No, that is a good pick. That's actually someone that I didn't really consider during the year. I think that could easily be like a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Dokkan Fest in here. I mean, there's a lot of GT, like Super Easies that are upcoming, especially. And, you know, I would assume, I guess, best case scenario, they probably maybe snag one of these two, or if not both of them. Or like this guy right here, that in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta would make a lot of sense to me. Good pick, would work really well with Anniversary, and you know, Vegeta definitely could always use the love in terms of Dokkan with how bad they treated him in early Dokkan. Very fun.
But yeah,
times.
exactly like you said, I thought that could be a good opportunity for them to sneak in those the Super Saiyan GT, like Dual Dokkan Fest Easy A's as well as part of his celebration. That would be very cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, definitely a good pick. Yeah, but for me here, it's usually just like a part 2 LR, right? Sometimes it's related. A lot of times it is. Like in this spot, we had Turles and Trimite Goku. So I actually went with another LR that's related just because I like to kind of more related than like, you know, Krillin into Garlic Jr. personally right here. So actually, I actually brought this up like a few minutes ago, but Angel Golden Frieza. I don't know if this is, Angel Golden Frieza standalone LR, right? I brought it up earlier for you because it's something I had in mind already. But this is the last standalone Angel Golden Frieza, which is the Int Golden Frieza Angel that released in 2017, right? Was it 2018? It was 2017, yeah. This guy was so good on release, and his EZA was very much fell flat, unfortunately. I think that EZAing this guy, you know, more Frieza buffs, or not EZAing him, releasing a new version of this guy, more Frieza buffs would be really, really cool. And, you know, he would pair well with the Frieza Angel that came out along with the second form Frieza Dokkan Fest. Then a Super EZA for Tech Golden Frieza, one of the older characters that, you know, is in the game right now in terms of a Dokkan Fest. Giving him a Super EZA could be really fun as a tank character. And we're just like starting to get a bunch of these Friezas to kind of awaken and like be usable. So there's kind of like a Frieza themed celebration, you could say, just like starting to prepare for, you know, other, again, ideas I have for later on during the year, which that'll be covered again, probably Ningen's part, right, in part 2 in his channel. So stay tuned for that. But what do you think? What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I quite like that. I mean, like we said already when we brought him up, having like an LR Angel Golden Frieza would be good. A Frieza sort of themed celebration I quite like, because I've always been a fan of the Wicked Bloodline team in general. Like, I loved the Cooler Worldwide when that team was going absolutely crazy. And yeah, like you said, for the Dokkan Fest, like having a second form Frieza is a really good pick. I kind of agree with like everything you're saying. Like, obviously when we were first watching Z, like seeing all those new forms, like the second form one definitely was very menacing. Having that in the game, I think that is a perfect choice, as we said, for some of these people like Krillin and Super Kaioken Goku and stuff, where they're not going to be like headliners of massive celebrations, but they're like really good picks to be these like quote unquote filler Dokkan Fest. So yeah, I think those are some great picks overall for a little mini celebration at this point of the year.
Yeah, and I understand you didn't really pick out LRs. You picked out Dokkan Fest. I went the extra mile. We agreed just to do Dokkan Fest, by the way. I'm the one who's like, I can't not do LRs. Like, I like planning things out like that. So that's what I thought of. I mean, I guess for you, again, in terms of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, maybe we can get an LR Super Baby 2. Maybe we can get like another.
I'm thinking maybe this would be a good opportunity to get in the like Sin that transforms into Omega potentially.
That could be good too. As a low coin LR, that'd be a really good choice, right? I mean, in this spot, Cell Max came out right last year, so
that would be actually some great redemption, right, for the release of Carnival Omega. If we got a yellow coin LR Sin to Omega, but his release is on that kind of level as like Cell Max, where he comes out and it's like, oh, he's actually like a top 5 LR. Like that would be a bit of redemption for the AGL Omega situation.
Just making a 20% reduction to GG bosses and then AGL Omega is saved. Trust. Nah, but usually does a filler Dokkan Fest here, I think, with an LR. Could be exciting depending on, what you're looking for. But this is where we lead into the end of June with Tanabata. So Tanabata is a very exciting celebration overall. I think, we've had some heavy hitters. UI Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Just a lot of these really exciting choices here. No, I just went with a big hitter that a lot of people have been waiting for quite some time. That is Super Saiyan 2 Youth Gohan. This is a character that people are thinking could be part of the anniversary. I'm thinking that dropping him like as a standalone Tanabata LR would work really well here. From what I understand, we don't really have... I don't think we've ever had a Gohan for Tanabata, if I'm not mistaken. Most of them have been Gokus pretty much. We had Vegeta and Trunks before, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I misremembering?
What's that, sorry?
I don't think we've had a Gohan during Tanabata.
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember what the first one was that was an LR.
Because
we had
we had Gohan and Goten, right? We had Gohan and Goten. I guess that would count, but like in terms of standalone.
Oh, the family, yeah, because obviously for global they released at like a different time as well. So the Tanabata ones always throw me off a bit because of the global schedule. But...
Global moment, am I right? No, but
I know, right? Not anymore.
Not anymore. My thought process with this is we also get a standby for this guy and rope in by guys in here. So like I'm thinking it could be a standby like the Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku, where it's actually a counter standby. And when you get hit with the super attack, Goku basically nullifies out the super attack and like he like teleports away essentially. Then you get guaranteed dodge for the rest of the turn, and maybe he gives like a support buff, and then after maybe you exit, Gohan gets like an extra 100% attack and defense or something. Just give him like a big buff right from when like Goku does the sacrifice. I think that could be really cool. Instead of this being a support memory, I really would hope that this would be like a standby. I think that would just be so fun to just kind of play with just like.
Dude, that's hilarious. I think that's such a great idea. Like I'm imagining now, like you can see the little like flash up counter thing of like Goku, and then the in-game animation where he just teleports like whoever the enemy that you're fighting to King Kai's planet, and then you see it blow up.
Yeah, it does damage to them. That'd be really funny, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it could be a cool and interesting card where it's like you get the standby and then you could just choose when to do that. Um, it would be really powerful being able to just like, yeah, just cancel out the enemy super for this turn. Not that we haven't seen characters do that before, but that could be really fun. And I think since this is Tanabata, Part 2 LR is usually just directly related. So I'm just going to talk about the Part 2 LR like I did with Anniversary with their Part 2. And I picked a Cell, a perfect form Cell right here. I think, again, we have this guy, but I'm thinking that they could give us a Super Easy A for one of the cells right here. I'm thinking Tech Cell could get a Super Easy A. So this name I wouldn't want taken up, so I'd rather just have this guy just be another transforming cell where there isn't an annoying restriction to actually transform him. This guy's restriction, I mean, one day he'll super easy A, maybe it'll be 50%, but 40% is playing with fire. If it's just like active skill, or even if it's like just a revive one, I wouldn't prefer that. But if it was just an active skill transformation, that would be really cool. And give us a new cell card that we haven't gotten in a while. Easy A's, I think that there's a lot of easy choices here. They can give us this Gohan right here, I think could be interesting. They could give us the where is this guy, the Goku Gohan right here, could be another good choice. And then just like easy these Golden Week Super Saiyan Goku and Cell right there. Like those all would be choices that could just easy during the celebration. Just grabbing a bunch of these more hype characters would be very fun. And that's kind of my general idea for like, oh, what would they do for Golden Week specifically, or not Golden Week, Tanabata specifically, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. I mean, I'm not going to spoil when it is, because obviously we'll be going into part 2 here very soon, but a new Gohan and Cell is definitely on my list of something to see during 2025. So Tanabata, I think, is a good pick. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, like you said, that could go with it, the easy A's and things like that. I much prefer the idea of Gohan having like a Bye Guys Goku standby or something, rather than having another transforming Gohan. We already talked about earlier in the video, right? Not having these characters with the annoying transformation conditions, because we don't want a repeat of the AGL Gohan. And then, yeah, Cell as well. Obviously, the counter to him. I see what you're saying, because obviously, like the STR, there's the STR Perfect Cell, I think was the last released like standalone one that's just called Perfect Cell. But obviously the tech one is in line for a Super Easy A, so it would make sense for the headliner to have a different name. Potentially could even have like a second form Cell that transforms into Perfect Cell, potentially. But
I still more as like, one of those like filler Dokkan Fest, but
yeah,
that could work too. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, maybe it could be this perfect cell that standbys like into the cell that explodes, and then like once he explodes,
he could have
does
like
damage.
he could have like the GT duo kind of standby, right? Where he
The
standbys
revive.
into the fat cell, and then he gets hit, dies, blows up, so does damage, and then you revive back to just being the perfect cell again. That would be cool.
That could be cool, yeah, for sure. And then imagine like instead of like, imagine it's like the first revive where the rotation continues, but then he like action breaks everyone with his explosion. Like that would be like, you pop the revive, but then instead of the turn ending, he continues the turn, attacks as perfect cell, but then he has an action break against all the attacks in the rotation. Like that could be
crazy.
overpowered. That could be overpowered.
Yeah.
It would have to be restricted really like well, probably, but imagine like
awesome though.
That would be awesome. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, 100%.
No, yeah, actually that's good idea for me, honestly. But no, I think yeah, I think this would fit really well for this spot.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. But yeah, so I think with the way we discussed, with the way the year splits, because Tanabata kind of goes across the halves of the year, maybe we'll start off part 2 with my Tanabata pick, and then finish out the rest of the year from there. So
Okay, that sounds
definitely
good to me.
think Gohan and Cell are a solid pick. Good pick so far. It is quite funny the number of like same things we picked in the first part of the year. So be interesting to see if we have any more repeats for part 2.
I would say that a lot of these characters are just obvious to be coming based off EZA, so I'm not surprised that we would have a lot of similar picks, right? I think this upcoming year of Dokkan is probably you could argue maybe one of the more predictable years in terms of like, oh, who will be coming, but who knows? Maybe they'll throw some curveballs at us. But again, this will be the end of part 1. Once we get to part 2 ending in, we'll start off with his Tanabata guest, and then we'll just move out through the rest of the year. So feel free to go ahead and check that out. The link will be in the description, of course. If you think my views are great or terrible, awful, let me know. I'll be happy to hear from you guys. That's it for me, though, and Ningen. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Yeah, make sure you go over, check out part 2, and we'll finish out the year over there. So it was good to be here, and we'll carry on in the next part.